All right, in this video we're going to add on to our knowledge of output in Python. Last time we talked about just basically print statements in Python, but today we're going to actually integrate that a little bit with some input. So we're going to take some input from a user and then print that out. And today I'm using the IDLE from Python. It's just something you can download from them. It stands for Integrated Development and Learning Environment. So it allows you to write code in here and then run that. There are other places to write code with Python and get practice with that, but this just comes right from Python and allows you to do some coding that way. So last time we talked about just simple print statements where we can say hello world. And in the IDLE, you actually then can run that. You can run that module. You do have to save it first, so we'll just give it a name. We'll just call it practice. And when you save that, now each time when we run this, it will pop up with a document or a window that will show you what you printed out. So here's the hello world. Okay, so I can close that out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a few more prints. And I'm going to actually, I think I'll take this world off of here. Okay, and we're just going to leave hello. And what we're going to do is ask for an input. And with inputs, they're just variables. You need to make a variable. We're going to call this name. And then when you put an equal sign there and then input, it knows that this variable called name is going to take in an input. And so with Python, in most languages, you can then ask a question with this. So you can say, please enter your name. And what this really is just a means of, you don't necessarily have to have this here. If you were to just run this, a cursor would just pop up in that window. And you would just have to enter. This makes it just kind of nice for your user that's using your code that they know to, okay, please enter a name, as opposed to not knowing what they need to enter. And so we're going to say, please enter your name. And then we're going to have it print hello after that. And then we're just going to have it print our name. And so we can just do something like this and it will print name. Okay, and so it'll take that information, the input that, please enter your name, they're going to enter that. Name is going to become whatever text was placed in there, and then we're going to print hello, and then underneath it, it will print the name that was entered. So let's go ahead and run this a second. And we do have to save it. And then here's our window, and it says, please enter your name. So you see here's the text. And I'm going to go ahead and say Dave. And it says, hello, Dave. Okay, so it printed this line, and then it printed the name that we just entered right here. Now you notice a couple things with this. One, it literally just prints this right next to, so you have this text is printed out, and then it will start the cursor right after that. So one of the things that we could do here is actually add a space for this, because that way when we run this, we won't have that issue. Okay, and let me get back to our thing here. So if I were to run this again, it's going to ask me to save, of course. It says please enter your name, and now there's a space there. Okay, so we'll change it up and we'll do John, and as you can see, it does hello John. Okay, so it printed that, and that looks a little bit better for our user. So let's keep adding on to this a little bit. One of the things that you can do with Python is maybe, instead of like hello John, we want to actually change this around, and instead of having name be below this, what we're going to do is we're going to integrate it into this print statement. So we have our hello, and what we want to do is we actually want to just have name here so that it will print hello and then name. Now there's two things with this. One, you do have to use they call it a term concatenate. It's the plus sign. And basically what that means for the computer is we're going to take this text that's right here, and we're going to add it to whatever name is here. And we're just going to take those two things and kind of add them together, smash them together almost. Now the one issue with this is if we were to run this right now, let me open up my window here again, and if I run module and save it again, and notice here it says please enter your name, and so now we'll do Bill, we'll change it up. And it says hello Bill. Okay, so again, that kind of just put those two right together, and there's our plus sign, our concatenate symbol. So what we need to do is probably add a space in here just to keep those two together. And then you could actually add more onto this if you wanted to. So I could say hello and then that person's name. I could add another concatenate with some more text and say, you know, how is your day? Actually, I'm not going to do that. We'll use different text. We'll say nice to meet you. Okay, and so now we've got this statement here, but this is very literal, the text. So it takes this text that's in here and adds it to name. But if you notice, we have name right here. There is no space in front of nice. So you would probably want to add a space here. Otherwise, it would mash those two together and you would not have a space. So we'll run this again. And just to skip the little box that's going to pop up, there's this. We'll go ahead and hit our run module. And there's please enter your name. And we'll do Jane this time. And hello, Jane. Nice to meet you. Now maybe what we want to do is add a comma in there, things like that, and we can totally do that. You know, we could just add a comma right there, and it would put those two together, and maybe not have this capitalized as well. Okay, so this is kind of, you know, how you use inputs with text and printing them out, things like that, and you can actually add them together with other strings. That's actually what we call text encoder strings. And just allows us to kind of put those two together in Python so you can form a sentence like that. All right, hopefully this was helpful for all of you, and please leave a comment or a like if you enjoyed this.